Hello, my name is Alexander, and today we're going to run through some Active Directory procedures, and we're going to get to change password and see how Active Directory actually works. Um, to do this, I have my VirtualBox manager set up, and I have two virtual machines running. I have one for the server, so called Server 2019. I have another one that's a Windows 10 virtual machine setup. These VMs are set through an internal network, so they are able to communicate with each other. I'm going to show here, this is the server VM, and this is where we're going to have our Active Directory shown. So we go to Active Directory users and computers. And this whole thing required a more of a setup, but I'm just showing how it looks right now. But to actually get these two virtual machines linked even further, I had to configure the IP address and do stuff like that. So it was kind of complicated, but not really at the same time. But anyway, we have a user here named John Doe, and John Doe is a user that I added onto the Alex Lab .local server, and that's my server. And I have him here, and we're going to show how we reset his password. So when you right click on his name, it'll come up here and it'll say reset password, disable account. You can do whatever you want. You can see his properties. You can see his name. If he has an address, you can see his address. Although you should probably, keep users' information private. In real life. This is not a real person, so we just have, it's basic first name, last name, stuff like that, right? So we're going to reset his password. The previous password was something else. Now I'm going to uncheck this, and we're going to see because if you have this checked, it's going to ask the user to change the password again, and we don't really want that because we want to change his password for him. So we're going to name the password welcome231 hashtag and see if this works because uh, okay, it worked. Yeah, I had a similar password before, so that's why I was wondering if it was going to work or not. So John Doe's password should be changed, and now we're going to hop on to the Windows VM, and you see here, you can see his name here, and other user is going to be me. But if we type in welcome231 hashtag, and I'll just show you here, it should work. Yep, we got welcome. And that is how you change your password in Active Directory. We're just going to show the sign in just to make sure Windows is all good. And it's taking a little while because the VM is slow. The VMs typically work slower uh, than on a host machine, probably because I don't have a lot of RAM allocated to it. And here we go. So yeah, we're in, and we're in as John Doe. Voila. Okay, so in the previous part, we showed how to change a password in Active Directory, and now we're going to show how to disable an account. So let's say John Doe, he hasn't really been a good employee, and we had to lay him off, or we had to suspend him, whatever it is, right? We have to disable his account because we don't want him accessing it anymore. So we right click on his name and we go to disable account. Object John Doe has been disabled. Now, I signed out, and we said that his password was going to be welcome 23. Oops. Welcome 231 hashtag, same as before. And now it should say that it should not allow us to sign in. Right? And because the account is locked. That's weird. Okay, actually what ended up happening before was that I had to sign out by hitting switch user instead of just locking his account. And that's the reason why it was allowing me to get in before. And even though I disabled the account, but here you can see now when I re-enter the password, it says your account has been disabled. Please see your system administrator. And again, we have it here, enable account. So the account is disabled. Now, if I hit enable account, John Doe has been enabled. Now I got in. See? I'm just going to show real quick how group policy management works. We use this to disable certain kinds of functionalities in other users profiles. So like, for example, John Doe, if he wants to access certain software or something like that, we can disable it so that he won't be able to go to it. Likewise, we can also re-enable it and allow certain software from, to be accessed by that person, by that individual. So in order to do this, we go to group policy management, and then over here you'll see like a little tab that says Forest, which should have the name of your server. In my case, it's Alex Lab. So I expand it, and then you can see like domains, sites. But we want to look at the domains area where we see the server name again. We right click on it, and then over here where it says create a GPO in this domain, you click here, and then we can set a name. So let's say that we want to disable the control panel from being opened, and we do this by first writing the name of the policy that we're creating. So we can just name it disable control panel. And all this does is just it shows us the name so we could easily access it and configure it. Okay, it's saying this because I created one before, but it's not here. It does this sometimes. Yeah, it keeps saying this. Why are you saying this? All right, we can just do right here. I just reworded it so it won't do that again. So we could actually right click on the policy that we created and then hit edit. Now over here you're going to see tons of different files, and our goal here is to go under user configurations, under policies, and then administrative temp folder. And you can see here the first one is control panel, and then you see desktop, network, yada yada yada. We want to do control panel. Click on it, and then over here it says prohibit access to control panel and PC settings. We click on that, and then here we can enable it. And then when we click OK, that is when this policy is enabled. And now we have to hop on to the other VM where we're signed in as John Doe. And we have to do basically what's called a group policy update. So we have to update the group policies on his account in order for this to take effect. So it's not going to take effect if we don't do this part. But I guess like any system administrator or help desk technician could do this while they set the policy themselves. So we just type in this command in the command prompt: gp update /force. And what it's going to do is going to update all the policies that we have, the new ones, the old ones, whatever it is that we got rid of or added, and then it's going to create that that policy that we made in this case. So now that it's done, we can go over here and type control panel and try to get into the control panel. And we can't. It says the operation has been canceled due to restrictions in effect on this computer. Please contact your system administrator. So that's basically the result of what we just did, and that's how you create a group policy.